Hey everybody, it's Katie. Today we're going to talk about preparing your emotions for birth. So if you are pregnant and you're coming up on delivering this sweet baby and you may be feeling like or just a little discomfort or kind of freaked out, today's video is for you because I'm going to share 8 tips that I used during my pregnancies that worked really well for me, and I wanted to share them with you in hopes that they'll help you out as well. When I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter, I've joked about it in other videos, but it was like that first hour of, I'm pregnant, we're gonna be parents, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a belly and a baby. And then after it's that fresh started to wear off, it was kind of moved over into, oh yeah, after I'm done being pregnant, I have to push a baby out of me. And I started to panic a little bit. Okay, probably a lot, actually. And there was this moment where I think I was a couple months into my pregnancy, and I was sitting on my couch, and my husband and I were living with my parents at the time. I was sitting on the couch, and it was just me and my mom, and she was in the other room, and I'm sitting there, and I've got my iPad, and I'm watching YouTube birthing videos. So don't do that in your first trimester. Just don't. So I'm sitting there and tears are welling up, and because I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to do that. And there's like the ring of fire, and I'm like, wah! So I'm so upset. And my mom walks out and she's like, what are you doing? What's the matter? And I hold it up and I'm like, eh. She's like, turn that off. You're not ready for that yet. And I'm like, but I'm going to have to do this in like 7 months, or whatever. And she's like, honey, turn it off. There will come a time where you will not care what hole that baby comes out. As long as it's out, you will be happy. And I couldn't fathom it. But I listened to her. And then, of course, thanks to some advice from some other seasoned mamas and grandmas, I didn't watch any more videos for a little while. And I also started to pursue better emotional health. And part of it came from a book, which we'll talk about, but I really feel like these 8 things that I'm going to share with you, and that's not a special number, it was just when I counted up all the things that I did, that was what we came up with. But when I share these things with you, I think that hopefully it will be of help for you too, because I know it was for me once I made the decision that I wanted to have good emotional health during the pregnancy, that I refused to be afraid and panicky and anxious, and I didn't want to spend my pregnancy feeling that way. So these are some of the things that I did that really helped me out. For those of you who are pregnant, you know that pregnancy, during that nice 10 months of pregnancy, yes, I said 10 months, it's a vulnerable time. Your body's doing funny things, your hormones are doing funny things, you're not in control of your body really necessarily, and so it's a vulnerable time. And I think that this goes without saying, that being positive, find a way to be positive. Think about the good things in your life. Be grateful. Just be as positive as you possibly can is number one. It's almost counterintuitive in our culture because a lot of what we see and what we hear about with pregnancy is negative. I mean, to be honest, part of the reason I was sitting there bawling was because I was also watching these women and what they were looking like and how they were acting and responding. And I mean, I was obviously not watching the right kind of videos, but they were not happy or positive or anything. And so our culture is not really very encouraging for labor and delivery. It's almost like, well, it's going to suck and sorry, that's that. So be positive. Have positive people around you. Watch positive birth videos. Google things like supernatural childbirth or peaceful childbirth and focus on that kind of stuff. So be positive. Number 2 is going to feed right into that, and that's going to be reduce negativity. That would kind of go along with the whole, like, if you're going to watch a birth video, make sure you look up and find the good ones. Don't find the ones where the mom is screaming and crying and, cussing out her husband or whatever, as you can find anything on YouTube, but find the good things. So, and then also that's going to mean negative people, negative situations. And I realize it's easier to say that, sometimes easier said than done, because it might be that people closest to you might be kind of negative. I would encourage you that if that's the case, take a step back. It's okay to set up boundaries in order to, pretty much in order to build this good emotional health. It's not like you're going away forever, but during this special, sacred, vulnerable time, it's okay to step away from negative situations and negative people. Number 3 is manage your stress. If you have stressful situations, like your job is stressful, or maybe there's relationships that are stressful, and this kind of goes along with the negativity, but just stress in general. If there's things that you know that cause you stress, if you're pregnant during Christmas time and the 47 Christmas parties you're supposed to attend are causing you stress, don't go. It's okay. It's as simple as that. Just say no thank you. I joke, of course. I realize that sometimes there are really big stressors in our lives, and it's not just as easy as that. But my encouragement would be to keep your peace through all of this. You can't necessarily control what's happening out here, but you can control what's happening in here. So keep the stress level as low as you can, but also keep that inner peace inside of you. Number 4 is care for your body. Now, that could look like taking a bath every single night, or getting a foot massage, or going and getting a pregnancy massage. It could also look like eating as healthy as you can. Now, I realize the first few months of pregnancy, sometimes all bets are off because the only thing that sounds good is top ramen. I mean, I get it. I think I had, I'm not actually even going to admit to you how many I think I had, but the McDonald's breakfast hash browns, they were my jam. And now if you ask me if I want a McDonald's hash brown, I'm going to say no. For a multitude of reasons, but they were my jam during the first trimester because it was one of the only things in the morning that didn't sound like, I don't know, a big steaming pile of poo. So taking care of your body is going to look like eating as healthy as possible, because you're going to be with this body for this whole 10 months, of course, and then beyond. But if you're caring for your body, I feel like, at least for me, eating as healthy as possible and all that yielded pretty good results for me. Number 5 is get exercise. Now, I'm not saying you need to go join a gym. If you haven't been doing a gym type of situation, don't go do one now. In fact, I think they actually say now's not the time to start being a marathon runner just because you want to, oh, I'm pregnant, I need to get exercise. Don't go do anything crazy. But go for a walk, go for a bike ride, go for a swim. Do things that get your heart rate up a little bit and that get you out and get you moving, fresh air as much as possible. If you do have a gym membership, keep going. Now, of course, always talk to your doctor. That's something I got to throw in there. Always talk to your doctor. But that was one of the things that my OB told me with my first daughter. She said, because I asked her, I said, do I have to stop working out? She was like, no, absolutely not. She goes, don't do anything that you haven't already done. So if you're not a marathon runner, don't go start doing sprints on the treadmill because your body's not really used to that and all that. But she said, don't stop, keep going. It'll probably make you feel better. And she's actually right. This is a little tip on the side there. The only time I didn't feel like dying in the first 3 months was when I was at the gym. So you can believe that I was at the gym probably about 5 days a week because it was a reprieve from that constant churning nausea. I didn't have morning sickness, I had afternoon sickness, so I was real peach, I'm sure, in the afternoons. But the gym helped that. The next one is to eat good food. Now, I know that, like I said, first few months doesn't really matter, and this kind of does tie into taking care of your body as well, but after you get past that feeling like you're going to die phase of queasy nausea every day, first few months, thank you, baby, my encouragement is to eat as healthy as you possibly can. Not saying that you can't go out and have the junk food if you want it, have it, but maybe not let that be the entire what you're eating. We actually did a video on that, and it was eating for your baby. Just good things that you can eat while you're pregnant, some suggestions, some encouragement. So we'll put a card up there for it if you want to check out that video. Just encouraging you to eat as healthy as possible because you're growing a little tiny baby and you want to give this baby the best start possible. The next tip is to get enough rest. Now, I think for many of you moms, and at least it was this way for me, but you might not have a hard time actually doing this because, we're all sleepy. It comes about 8 o'clock at night and it's like, I'm ready for bed. I didn't have much of a problem going to bed early, but there was that part of me that kind of had a hard time some nights because I wanted to stay up and do stuff, or I wanted to go out and watch a movie with my husband, or I wanted to go on a date night, but I was tired, and then I would make myself stay awake because I felt like I needed to, clean up the house or do other things. And so this is not to say don't stay up and hang out with your husband, because that's important too, but it's also really important that you get enough rest. So don't worry about the dishes in the sink. I realize that's like nails on a chalkboard for some of you, because it is for me. Kitchen needs to be clean before bed, or the mess in the living room, or whatever it is that you're thinking, I have to do this before I go to bed. Just go to bed. It's okay. Just go to bed. That was a hard one for me, and especially with my first pregnancy. Now my second pregnancy was a lot better. It's like, babe, I'm going to bed. The baby, the kid's in bed, I'm going to go to bed now. So I learned that the second time around, but get enough rest. It'll make you feel a lot better and a lot more able to handle the emotions when they come. The next tip I have for you is probably one of the most important. Now I feel like these are all important, but this kind of just encompasses everything. And that would be to give yourself grace. So whatever you feel like you're not doing good enough in, you need to do more of, you need to be over here, you need to be over there, there's all these things, or I'm not doing this well enough, whatever. Just give yourself grace. Pregnancy is unlike probably any other time in your life, because you don't yet have the baby, but your body's not your own, so you can't really do the things that you used to do. But you don't have this baby yet, and you feel like you should be able to. Anyway, it's a vicious cycle. Just give yourself grace. If you're not able to make it to a birthday party, that's okay. It's all right. If you're not able to make it to work for one day, if you just wake up and you're hurting or you're tired or whatever, it's okay. Give yourself more grace than you would in other circumstances. I know that I can be kind of hard on myself sometimes. And with my first daughter, while I was pregnant, I felt like I needed to be able to do all the things, all the things that I had done before, and the laundry and the cooking and the shopping and here's another big one. I can lift that. I'm not, incapable. Never mind, I have a watermelon strapped to me. I can lift that. Or just doing the things that I usually could do on my own. Maybe now I need help with. So I had to learn to give myself grace, because at the end of the day I would look at what I had accomplished and it wasn't much. But then my parents reminded me, what you accomplished today was the most important thing, and that was you are growing a baby. And so give yourselves grace. Pro tip, last one. If you have not already watched this video that I am going to pop up here on the screen, I would suggest that you do it. It's my video about my supernatural childbirth. I've had 2, and it all started with a book. The book is called Supernatural Childbirth by Jackie Mize, and I would watch the video, and if it speaks your language, if it's at all interesting to you, or if it sounds like, hey, I could get on board with that, I can't be any more emphatic than to say, watch the video and then get the book. The book changed my life. It changed my birthing experiences 2 times, and it's also been probably the catalyst for what we're doing with the KT files. So watch the video, check it out, and I hope that it resonates with you. Hey, you guys might not know this, not sure if you do, but we have a Facebook page, so if you'd like to check us out there and interact with us, that would be awesome. We would love that. If you like today's video, please click like, and if you know of someone who's pregnant or who maybe could use some of what we've talked about today, I would be honored if you would consider sharing it. So check us out, Facebook, give us a like. Also, if you're not a subscriber, I would like to invite you to be a subscriber. We do videos like this every week, and it's pretty much just focused around family and what we've got going on in our lives. So we'd love to have you join with us on our journey into family. Hope you guys are doing exceedingly well, and hopefully we'll see you again next week for our next video.